Have you ever, for whatever reason, wondered if you could play Skyrim as a normal citizen without breaking the law, without murdering and pillaging everything in sight to gain monetary prowess upon all of your peers throughout the land of Skyrim? Yeah, me either. But in this playthrough, that's exactly what we're going to be putting to the test. So I spawned into the realm of Lorcan for what was my first time ever, and I immediately started exploring. It wasn't long before I decided on which location I would want to start my alternate spawn at. I decided, since I'm a normal citizen and I'm avoiding breaking the law in this playthrough, I wanted to start in jail. So I ended up learning that I would have to steal some potions from this guy, or not steal, I guess, because we're abiding the law. It wasn't red, so it wasn't stealing. Sold them to him, bought some lockpicks, and then I was on my way to the jail. So the lore for this playthrough is gonna be something like I was just a normal citizen unjustly incarcerated by the Jarl of Riften. Anyway, so I quickly got into Riften jail, deposited what coin I had left because I didn't want to cheat, and totally got this lockpick done on my first try. I mean, my second try. Wait, maybe my third try. Alright, and now that we're a free woman, it was time for us to finally confront the person that put us in these shackles unjustly.
The Thieves Guild used to run this city. Now they're nothing but braggarts and bullies, rotting to death down in their rat way.
I agree. We're definitely going to enable survival mode on this just for the little bit of a challenge, because without it, what would be the entire point?
What is it?
Alright, it's time to go confront her.
Involved a dragon. It killed several soldiers before it departed.
I want you to speak to the city guard. Make sure there's a contingency plan in effect in case Riften falls under attack.
Bruh.
Yes, milady. I've also taken the liberty in preparing a private carriage, just in case.
Good.
Bro, she's scared of
If
the
Riften should
dragon
fall, it's
smoke,
only
bro.
right that its
She
leader
gon'
be spared.
she gon' unjustly incarcerate me and be
Welcome,
scared of
Mr.
that
Key.
dragon smoke.
I'm Jarl Layla's steward, Unuriel. Distance, but speak
Welcome
your
to
mind.
Riften.
Let's see what she has to say for
I hope
herself.
the road fared well for you.
The answer is
I
nothing.
feel Ulfric's cause.
The hunger was starting to set in, so we had to figure out a way to start getting some motion in place and getting some money in our pocket. My first idea was going to be wood cutting until Brynjolf immediately started harassing me and trying to get me to break the law.
You're gonna steal Medesi's silver ring from a strongbox under his stand.
Clearly,
Once you
I
have
told
it,
him
I want
absolutely
you to
not.
Place it in Branche's pocket without him noticing.
Break the law? Are you kidding?
Oh, sorry. I usually have a nose for this kind of thing.
Anyways,
mind
obviously,
that, lad.
since
If
this
you
is
change
the
your
snitch playthrough,
come
we
find me.
immediately went to Medesi to tell him what happened. The coin would be nice, but we just simply can't break our morals.
If you're looking for a handout, you want to speak with
Medesi thanked me for telling him the truth and not
Sadly, I'm one of the few
getting him
traditional
incarcerated.
Saxon jewelers that
And he
remains in
gave me a
Termina.
little quest to
It's
make some
becoming a
coin
lost art.
in return.
Only trouble is gathering materials has become hazardous. The roads to the mines and to the other...
My dreams of being a woodcutter were immediately killed, as I did not have the axe, and I am a dummy. I went around Riften and picked up a few quests that I thought to be somewhat reasonable and law-abiding. This person wanted me to talk to someone in jail, and I wanted to hear him out, because I was just in jail. And you know what I mean? I didn't do anything wrong. I had no reason to be there, so I'm gonna hear this guy Sibby out. On my way there, I picked up a few more quests. I talked to Vera about a bounty for a juvenile mud crab, which is eventually gonna end up being her pet, which I think is pretty cool. You can kind of watch it grow as the story goes along.
It would seem so. Thanks. Good luck out there.
I went inside the Riften fishery and talked to this lady about her skooma addiction. Picked up a little quest.
Thank you, my friend. Any healing potion will do. Please hurry.
Yes?
And then I picked up a quest to find a few different
Of course.
fish. All of these fish bounties and fish
That
quests
doesn't
would end
change
up being
anything.
somewhat important early game. And then it was time for me to head back to the Riften jail to
My
see what
thanks
this
to
guy
you.
Sibby had to say. After a rather rude introduction,
Well, well. Have you come to gawk at me, or is this a social... then I think we're done talking.
I realized that we were in fact done talking because he wanted me to break the law. So, being the snitch playthrough, I immediately found Maven right outside of the building and told her.
What in the name of oblivion do you want?
She seemed unfazed. And then I made my way over to the Blackbriar Meadery and talked to this guy.
I'm selling the best meat in town for cheap.
Right on.
Interested?
Kind of.
No.
He wanted me to break the law, but I didn't realize this at the time, and it may or may not have sent me on a wild goose chase that basically wasted days in the Skyrim world, but it's fine. We'll get to that later. I almost died to these wolves in hand-to-hand combat, but I persevered through the means of water and swimming. Upon finding this mill, I stumbled upon a fishing rod and a few resources that I would use later on. Eventually, I headed inside the mill and picked up this quest to find this chick's husband.
He's not welcome here anymore.
I found this guard body outside. I think it was killed by the wolves, and this was very important to me early on for the armor and the weaponry. I cleaned up the nuisances outside while nearly escaping the cold, clammy, grimy hands of death. I then fished, and fished, and fished. I probably fished for way too long, but it just felt super cinematic and calming to me. I hit this sick trick shot, almost died to some more wolves along my path, and then I found this guy, Stelio, who wanted me to go pull some lever or something.
Good luck.
So I went and tried to do that, but being just the citizen I am, it was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. After nearly dying, I squeaked out of there with a sliver of health remaining, and went to tell Stelio that there ain't no way I'm doing this right now as just a normal law-abiding citizen. So I went on my path to steal some potatoes and gourds from an unsuspecting old lady who was too busy to notice.
What did you want?
And then I proceeded to stuff my mitt with 7 gourds, 9 potatoes, and a sack of flour to satiate my hunger. After stuffing my face, I went back on my path and eventually stumbled upon a little camp that had some stuff to harvest and finally a woodcutter's axe. I could finally live my dreams as a lumberjack. I basically beat the game at this point after hitting this snipe and finding that axe. I was literally on cloud 9.
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of meat.
Upon arriving in Ivarstead, I think I realized that I might have messed up coming to Ivarstead whenever I really didn't have to for that quest. So the realization was starting to set in, but I just continued on my path, harvesting whatever I could and collecting whatever I can for coin and hunger. I went into the inn to see what was going on over there, trade whatever I can, sell whatever I can, and make whatever early coin that I could at this point. I rented a room and took a little nappy nap before waking up and getting right back to Farming Simulator. But eventually, after picking up endless amounts of wheat and cabbage and stuffing them in my pockets, I stumbled upon a little woodcutting stump where I could finally live out my dreams of being a woodcutter, so that made me ecstatic. And after doing all that woodcutting, I talked to the lady who owned the mill, and she gave me a little bit of coin as well as told me a little story about some bears that I couldn't care less about.
Gold for honest work. My business is falling apart, my apprentice never listens to me, and now there's talk of dragons.
And then it was right back to doing my favorite thing in the whole world. And then I went on my path and talked to this guy, picked up a quest that I'll probably end up doing later,
on your
but
way
I
to
don't feel
higher.
like it right now because I know there's some treacherous enemies on the way up that mountain. At this point, the disappointment had fully set in, and I realized I had to go back to Riften, not only to finish the quest and do it the right way, abiding by the law and snitching on the apprentice, but also because that's where the carriage was. But I'll spare y'all from watching me run all the way back there. After promptly snitching, I realized something that would end up being very important for this entire playthrough. That doing these little challenges and quests and stupid little deliveries gains me a friendship status with these NPCs. And that means that I can ransack their entire house for almost anything that they own. In this case, it was Blackbriar Meadery. This guy was so generous, he would let me take the coin from under his bed. There was even a secret little coin spot hidden on like a roof support beam or something where his chandelier was. So after doing a little bit of parkour to snag that, I decided I would kind of ransack him for all of his brew. But honestly, throughout the playthrough, like, this isn't the only way that I want to be making money because it seems a little bit like moochy, you know. This is the being a citizen in Skyrim playthrough, not the being alcohol mooch in Skyrim playthrough.
Azura's wisdom to you, friend.
Anyways, I totally sold like a bunch of his stuff right back to him for profit, but we'll just ignore that for right now. After going back to my roots for a little bit, I sold a bunch of stuff to the local blacksmith before realizing, why am I wasting my time selling wolf pelts when I could just go to my friend's house and take bushels and barrels of alcohol? After taking said bushels and barrels of alcohol, I went back to the fishing outpost to talk to Viria about that juvenile mud crab. She proceeded to give me yet another fishing bounty before I went back into the fishing hut and talked to the fishing quest guy, which gained yet another friendship status with the NPCs.
Everything's all right?
All right then.
Needless to say, once I discovered this, I absolutely cleared them out. So after ransacking him inside and out, no diddy, I proceeded to do a little bit more fishing, just because it scratches that itch in my brain.
Greeting. Everything I've got on display, really.
After selling tons of junk and bushels of beer, I stumbled upon these two people having a weird argument.
You said you'd pay it back on time, and for double.
At this point, little gears in my little mouse brain were turning at an expeditious rate as I realized I could befriend this guy by clearing his debt with the aggressive woman.
Are you telling me you robbed it? Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Look, Shadra, last warning. Pay up or else.
You will? Oh.
All right. Take it easy. No idea why you'd care about a stranger so much, but this isn't worth a fight. Tell Shadra I'm forgetting about his debt.
Can't believe she's that afraid of a civilian. She totally could have called my bluff. I mean, especially considering me wussying out in this conversation right after.
Suit yourself.
I went to the inn to
I'll
get
be
some
at the
sleep,
docks if you
but
change
got
your mind.
berated by
Glad to
Brynjolf
see
at the
you
door
finally
when he
came
was
to your
trying to
senses.
get me to break the law once again. He's persistent, but not as persistent as my morals. Speaking of persistence, my hunger is insatiable in this playthrough, it would seem. But hey, what are friends for? So after making another friend and completing another quest, I took the carriage over to
Where do you want
Falkreath
to
to
go?
go make more friends.
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
No lollygagging.
Oh shit, bro, you right. You right. I am lollygagging. So to avoid lollygagging, I spent my time starting quests, making friends. I stumbled upon a skeleton. I adventured. I hunted. I did everything that I could to make coin and make myself useful at this early stage in the game. But most of all, more important than anything else, I had to find a fondle. I mean a follower. A Faendal. A Faendal follower, if you will. To be my pack mule throughout this entire journey. And then I could call it a day.
I'm not speaking to him anymore.
So I proceeded to just finish up that little quest, get him as a follower.
Lead the way.
And then I finally had to upgrade. So I dumped it straight into stamina, as I will be doing a lot in this playthrough for the survival mode, carry weight bonus. And then I just proceeded to fish until the sun set. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it if you got all the way to the end. Thank you.